Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newest edition of What You've Been Missing. Straight out of Washington, D.C. It's your man, Oddisee. I chose the name Oddisee, man, a long time ago. Like, shoot, when I first started getting into rhyming, I say like I was in middle school, I read the Odyssey and the Iliad, the story. And it just means journey in Greek. And, you know what I'm saying, being a hip hop nerd as I was like, oh, when I rhyme, I want to take people on journeys. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of stuck with that, and then I changed the spelling of it for a couple reasons. There was a couple other Oddisees. Big up Oddisee from Mass Influence. And I changed the name to Oddisee, basically third eye, never taking things at face value and always reading between the lines, and trying to deliver that through music as well. So it's kind of a double meaning, like a journey that reads between the lines.
Folks know the time when he comes through, right?
Growing up in the DMV and being an artist to do the type of music that I'm doing is really like a minority. And like every city, there's always something that deviates from the norm.
1, 2. Check me out. So real, so ill. Measure the dopeness wholesale, no scale. Uncut raw vocals on my motel. You ain't in my clique, well, nigga, then oh well. Mr. Bandwagon, grab a hold of my coattail. George Jetson, I'm stepping and they so snail. Best in the north, east, south, and the west end. My crew is the truth, y'all man was just folk tales, fables.
You know what I mean? The whole theme of the record is mid-90s boom bap, so I wanted to take like familiar elements and references from it and kind of throw it in to show people how relevant it still is, and to kind of, you know, conjure up like memories from that era of hip hop and bring them to now. It's kind of a nostalgic feeling to it, you know what I mean? Diamond District, it's a group that I formed with 2 other DC MCs, XO and YU. It's kind of like a boom bap, mid-90s themed record, real hardcore beats, but not necessarily violent. We kind of felt like there was a gap, a void in hip hop where a lot of the indie artists were progressive, and it was this missing element of like grimy, hardcore hip hop that wasn't necessarily violent.
Yeah, look, oh, killing them. Offshore bank account, oh, drilling them. Oh, sure, filling them, madness, legend of folklore. No killing it down.
So we just kind of wanted to come back with that type of material that was real, like gutter, but not necessarily violent in the same sense, you know what I mean?
Any playboy, drug dealing, balling, there's a gimmick. You really gotta call it how you live it. God, crack rap so behind. In the track, state rap more show behind. That's it.
Being from here, it's a go-go, it's go-go capital. This is where go-go is from, you know what I mean? It's what go-go been restricted to for many, many years. But for us, and just the proximity to Philly and New York, you know what I'm saying, and so many New Yorkers and people from the North and New England cities coming down here, you just kind of always had this exchange of culture and music and slang and urban culture in general that just kind of just floats back and forth. And we influence them in a lot of ways, and they influence us in a lot of ways.
We always like to bring like the real dudes here, you know what I mean? Like a lot of people get upset because they like, oh, y'all don't ever want to have us on the show, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? But like, we like to keep our show real, like real.
Yeah.
I said that shit is sad.
Real, man.
But like,
×3, you know it's true.
Exactly, but like, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people just don't get it. You know what I mean? And like, I hate to dumb it down and just make it real simple for folks to understand, but you wanted to cast that get it. You know what I mean?
I appreciate that.
And get it in on top of that.
Thank you. The sound of hip hop that I do, it definitely stems from that quote unquote golden era hip hop. And simultaneously, it's also the main contribution to progressive hip hop. You know what I mean? And I'm somewhere in between. I like to take pieces and bits from the traditional, you know, golden era hip hop and combine that with influences that I get from other genres of music and keep it fresh, keep it alive, and keep it relevant. There's so many like facets to my style. That's another reason why I like working with a whole bunch of artists, because there isn't one type of beat that I like to make, one style of hip hop that I like to make. I like to create like raw, like gangsta shit, progressive, synthy, electronic, rock and flute infused, jazz oriented. Like, I just love music. I love all of it, like passionately. I'm never trying to do something because that's the it thing to do right now. Oh, this sound is what everybody's on, so I need to start making beats like that. That's never my case. I'm just really in love with all of it. Anytime hip hop takes a turn on advance, I'm right there with it, because I love where it goes, and I always want to be a part of that new thing and preserving that old thing. And you hear that in my production. You know what I'm saying? Anyone who tried to pigeonhole me is a fool. You know what I'm saying? You can tell how dusty it is. I'm neglecting it. I started on this joint, you know what I'm saying? The ASR X right here. And this is like the box version. Blow the cobwebs off. This is embarrassing. It's like the box version of the ASR 10. The 10, Neptunes use it, Kanye use it, Knots use it, Timberland use it. And the X was supposed to be the version to respond to the MPC. It was like, we need to make a box version. And this is actually the same exact one that I started on. I never had to replace it. So my first beat was made on this.
You know what I mean? Like, you really represent, and it's a good representation. It's not, you know, the Swagger Team 5000 boys.
Right.
Exactly.
I can't really mess with that. Oh, it's my swag. Anybody who say I'm not a rapper, or my swag, like, I'm good. I'm good off of you, yo. I'm good.
I feel like I was born yesterday and grew up overnight. Born into an escapade of foolish oversights. Moved up overnight from a mind in the gutter. Was a mid-20 brother who was just living life. But just living's on bare minimum. At least that's what my father told me. See, live for the dollar and the dollar ain't suffice. Now we back in Sudan where they struggling for rights.
I write a lot of rhymes outside, walking around and seeing the lawyers, the lobbyists, the politicians, the FBI agents. I definitely think that I would probably talk more, I'm more politically conscious, or that I dabble into rhymes about conspiracy theories, or the greater system on how things are supposed to work, or socialism versus capitalism, because you really see it at work in DC. From one street to one street, you see economic gaps, poverty, wealth, you know what I mean? So it definitely finds its way into my rhymes. I think a lot of the MCs from DC, I wouldn't say we're militant, but I say we're politically savvy.
I make myself clear, riding to the top, I don't need no cosigner, I'ma take myself there. If I got it from a gimmick or explore the image at the end of the day, would I hate myself? Yeah. Now am I wrong for that? Let me make a song for that.
Thank you for coming down to the district. Thank you for coming down to GW Radio. Thank you for taking a walk around Capitol Hill. You know what I'm saying? And getting just a little insight into my world. It was a pleasure to share that with y'all. You know what I'm saying? I hope you take something away from that. Continue to support my type of hip hop, and any of the type of hip hop is just quality. You know what I'm saying? From the DMV to the rest of the world, we gotta stand for something or we'll fall for anything. You know what I'm saying? Just stand.
And while we wait for the get back, I resurrect the rapping like a cycle.